Hey everybody, welcome back to Freedom Algo. Sorry about the delay. The stream crashed on me this morning, so right when I was about to go live, it crashed. So I had to reset some stuff. I think it's good now. Give me a second. All right, it looks actually like it's fine, so I think we're good. Let me know how your day's going. It's really slow today. There's hardly any trades. So I don't know that our stream will be very long because it's just kind of that's the type of day we had. But good to see you, Daryl. Good to see you, Jack. Good to see you, Project Panic in the chat. Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. All right, so we'll keep it simple today. Subscriber target 5750. Peter, good to see you. And likes target for our stream goal, just going to be 40. We're just going to keep it simple. But you can see here what we had. We basically had a range that finally broke out the bottom. Didn't quite make a measured move of the range, but it came down. We tried to break back in here, failed. And that's the most recent price action. Let me expand these out. And I drew two possible trend lines here, one off of this lower high, and then one off of the actual high. Both seem to fit decent, so we'll see. It looks like the wider one might be what's really in play here. All right, let me see. Yeah, Daryl, for sure. I mean, it's hard. That's a hard thing. I think that's one of the hardest things. Is just like handling the loss when it happens. It was not an easy trading day. Not an easy trading day. Yeah, for sure, Sean. It's just a really bad day for trading today. Just the way it is. Like, look, there's a lot of movement, but if you're following the rules for the way that we trade, there's a lot of spots where there was sort of like what I like to call an almost setup. And there's a few that I didn't really mark. Like there's a short right here that I didn't mark. You could treat this equal high like a lower high. I just think it's dangerous though. Some of these trade setups are just dangerous. So just a boring day overall. And that's going to happen from time to time. You know, this morning in the overnight, there was this wider down channel, and there is a second entry short here that kind of confirms this down channel was in play. I think this moved on me a little bit. I think I originally had it. Forget how I had it, but whatever. It doesn't really matter. Either way, you have this down channel in play, and you get a second entry short right here. Now, it's a little risky because it's right after we bounced from down here. Originally, I had the range low drawn off of this level over here, and then I moved it up. So it's a little risky there because we did come off the range lows, but I think it's reasonable. Pretty bearish bar, and so it's a pretty decent setup. It ends up bouncing here, and now we did need a new low on this down channel, which ends up happening way over here. But basically, we opened this morning. We get this close outside. We get like basically a couple legs to a new high, and then it reverses. There's not really anything in here. It's just so sideways and tight. There's just no trades in there. We then get this down channel, first entry, second entry long, but the signal bar is not good. Triple test, but not a signal bar here either. So you can't take that. This is just the first entry. There is a second, you could kind of look at this like a second entry short, but at this point, it's just like a range, so I don't think you want to take it. You don't have rooms to the lows, really, so you can't take that. Then it comes down. You get this one. I was hoping for a bullish bar here that would close back inside, because then you could treat it like a second entry long and like a triple test off of these lows. But it ends up giving me this neutral-looking bar, so you couldn't take that trade. Then we get a second entry short here, but this is an inside bar pretty much. And this is like basically your signal bar. No good there. Can't take that. And they're in the news, so you can't take that anyway. That's what this purple is. We had a news release. Then it comes down, and there's a second entry long that fails here, but you're not looking to short at the lows of the range. You get this close outside, new low. Then you get an inside bar. Then it just comes up. Now there's a higher low here, which I did want the higher low after this because we broke back in. But the problem is, again, I don't get a good signal bar. So you just have to skip that one again. So that's just what it was today. There's a lot of these spots where you just got to stay with the rules. Now, there is a second entry short here, but my bar was too bullish. And it's possible there that this is an up channel. So, you don't have it really confirmed yet, but it's a little risky to go short there. It's not really off of any really key levels, maybe this. So you really need a lower high there, and it doesn't come till all the way down here. And at that point, it's moved way too far to go short. It ends up working, but I just think it's too risky. Comes down, let's see, we get to close outside, new low. And then we get this, but this is kind of like a hidden second entry short. But again, you don't want to short right there. Like, that's the low of the range, and we keep on bouncing back in. So it's just too sketchy. It ends up turning into a big down channel, but you don't know that it's going to do that right there. It makes the measured move, goes a little further. Then there's a second entry short right here, but you can't go short yet. It's in the middle of the channel. It's not back to the edges, and it's this little up channel's in effect. So when it comes up here, I would have considered a short here if my bar wasn't a doji right there. Because I would have looked at this kind of like a visual second entry short, like 2 legs of correction to the trend line. But it didn't happen for me. And then you get an equal high, another one that's not a good bar. If this was bearish, then maybe, but it finished neutral for me. So no short there. Comes down, makes this new low. Then it comes up, and we end up in this little up channel. Now here, you do have this up channel that gets kind of a close outside here. Right here, sorry. And then it doesn't make a new high yet. So this could just be one leg, second leg to a new high, because they make an equal high there. So this might have actually just been this little channel playing out. I drew the wider channel as a possibility. So after it makes that double top there, it does give us a lower high after the double top and the measured move was achieved. So, and it's in this little down channel. Now you are going into the EMA, so it's not perfect. It's a little bit bullish here. It didn't quite touch this level. It missed it by a tick. But if you took that, it's probably going to trap some people who are long right there. But you can see it's a little dicey because then it forms a second entry long and goes down. Now, I don't think you would take the failure here just because of where it is. It forms like kind of in the wrong spot. Not really a spot where I want a failure necessarily. But you can see the longs do get trapped and that fills the orders. But if you did enter on this one, you would have gotten filled when it trapped all those longs right there. But still, it's not ideal. It ends up coming down, and then it bounces here. I don't think you want to long that because this could be a channel starting. All right, so then what do we got? We come up. We got nothing really here. There's a first entry. There's kind of a second entry short, but you're not looking for that. You're not looking to take a failure here. It's too close to the highs. You just have to wait. Now, when it comes up here and makes this new high, now these channels over here have both played out. So you can see this one got the close outside. This is a new high. It makes one more leg up, and then it reverses. Now, I don't think you want to short below this bar because it doesn't close back below the level here. So you might actually go higher here. You might be forming some sort of wider channel. You don't know for sure. So I think you need a lower high. So then you get a lower high here, but it doesn't break below. So you can't enter short there because you get an inside bar that doesn't, it's sort of like an inside bar. It just has an equal low. It doesn't fill you, and then it closes. But when you get this one that does tick a little bit higher and then reverse, it's basically like a failure. It's not on the right side of the EMA, but the EMA is not as important here. What's important is that it's the lower high that we were looking for after the failed move here. After this, all these up channels had played out. We're still thinking we might go down and make a new low. It's possible that this channel didn't really get a new low. There is another way to draw this like tighter to where there's a close outside, new low, already been made. Or even, yeah, see, it just, I think that it's like this, though. I don't think this one has a new low yet. So I think that you could take this one. It's a little, even, I marked it red. It's a little more advanced, though, than a normal one. But I'm going to mark it red because it is a good setup. It is a lower high after all the uptrends had played out. It's not the type of failure that you want, but it is basically like, oh, I forgot to, hold on. I meant to say it's also kind of like a breakout pullback. So it's kind of like a breakout pullback too, where it like breaks back out of the range and then pulls back and then rejects. So I think it's a good one. I'll mark it. Now we came down here. What do we have? This makes a new low on this little short term. So this might be all that you get here, because this makes a new low. It looks like I had this little wider possible channel, but I don't think so. I think it's just this close outside, new low, and now it's coming back up again. So we just got to play things as they are. We might not get a new low on that other downtrend, because again, there was a short term in here that gets a close outside, and this might have just been a really big move to a new low. There's a few different ways to draw this. You also could look to draw this like this, where you basically go down and you draw like a whole separate channel, like almost like this is just a different channel. And then it gets a close outside here and a new low already. So, I mean, there's a few ways to look at this as already played out. But the other thing to consider here is that originally I had it drawn more like this. So it is possible that this was also an overshoot. But when it didn't bounce through the other side, I didn't see it as an overshoot. So, all right. Anyway, looks like we're trying to break back into the original range. So that might be all it gives us. That might be all it gives us. Now, I don't know. Was that low? I know we never hit Friday's close, which was what? 64.8875. Maybe that's what we were doing there. We missed it by 2 ticks. So it looks like that's what we were trying to get that gap fill in play. It's close is sometimes close enough. So maybe that's what that move was originally, just getting that sort of gap fill on that chart. But yeah. All right, if you're here, hit that like button. We've only got 5 likes on here. We got a bunch of people in here, so definitely hit that like button. Let's get the stream out to more people. If you got questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. There's not a lot of price action to go over besides that. Oh, did I just lose connection? All right. Hey, well, congrats to you. Congrats to you on passing your evals. Congrats to you. That's nice. All right. So I'm not quite sure if let me do this. There we go. Not quite sure if there's going to be a lot more to go over, just because the price action is moving pretty slow now. There just isn't a lot of setups today, but that's okay. It's going to happen sometimes. Yesterday and today, we do have a lot of news and data releases coming up for the rest of the week, so it'll probably start to move a lot more. Yeah, I think you're right. Project Panic, 6,500. You know, there's kind of a psychological level there. That seems to be pretty close to where our range low is today from the original range. Now, obviously, if I zoom out, this might be one where we draw a much larger range to the lows, which we could do. We could draw this range all the way to these lows like that. And then what we could do is put, where was it? Put this back in place here. Forget where I originally had that, but let's see. I think it was right there, off of that level. We could put that one there as just like a level to be aware of. Let me actually see something. I think I had it up here, off of that level originally, and that was kind of the level we had been playing with. So there we go. That's good enough for now. I think we could look at it like that. All right, Owen, you were lucky to get your target 3 points above the low. Green day. Hey, that's good for you. Good for you. But yeah, it's a grind right now. A lot of patience. A lot of patience. Yeah, I mean, avoiding revenge trading. I have some videos on that on the channel. It's one of those ones that's hard to say for sure, because it's like it's going to be different for everybody. But I think you just have to have strict rules in place. Like if you take 2 losses, you stop for the day. That's one of the rules I have. If I take 2 losses in a day, I just stop trading. That's one rule I have that keeps me out of like doing that. But a lot of it's just going to be personal. I mean, it just comes to your discipline and just, you just have to work on your discipline, your routines, and just be super strict with your criteria. I mean, that there's no easy answer there. Triple test. Yeah, you could look at that. You could look at that as like a 1, 2, 3. I mean, it's really like a fourth test. I mean, this one also you could argue is a triple test itself. But yeah, this is basically another one. You could take that, but the problem that you're going to run into with taking this is that it's just a first entry outside of this. It is a close outside a new high, but you're always better off to wait. And that's the same thing over here. Like, there was a second entry here, but this is one of those spots where even though you have a short-term downtrend and this is a close outside and a new low all at once, a lot of times on a spot like this, you want to wait for the second leg attempt, because a lot of times after you get a close outside and a new low, especially if it happens all in one bar like this, you're going to get one more attempt, either one more leg down, which is what it did here, or a higher low, which is the attempt at the second leg. Same thing here. If you go short there, it's just the close outside new high. So it is following the trend line rules, but you don't have your second leg attempt. You don't have a lower high, which is the second leg attempt, or where it makes one more leg to give you that second leg. So that's the tough part there. Does look like we might get a lower high here, but it's moved too far to take a setup here. Although it does look like it's going to trap some longs. But you are kind of shorting towards the lows here. Need to be aware of some of the spots where we've bounced. Maybe right here as one option. Got to be aware of this level. So this is a lower high, but again, you don't want to short that necessarily, because it's pretty much here. This might be wider, but I'll draw the tight one first. Yeah, trend line's moving on me. Here, let me do it like that. It might be a wider channel. We'll draw both options. We could get a wider one here, but we'll wait till it gives us a few more candles. Oh, that's cool. That's cool that you switched to ES and that it's working for you. I'm glad it's working for you. Red and yellow arrows are pointing to setups. If you look in the description, it explains this. It explains it in the video. So just check the description. Basically, red setups are good shorts. Yellow setups are decent shorts, but not ideal. If there's a green arrow pointing up, that would be a good long. If there's a yellow arrow pointing up, it would be a decent long, but not ideal. That's how these are labeled for like setups following the price action rules for the way that we trade. All right, so there's that. And I think we'll probably wrap up a little earlier than normal today, just because it's so slow. So I think I'm going to wrap up here soon. So let's just see if there's more questions. We'll do a little bit of a longer stream tomorrow. And then also tomorrow we'll have the... tomorrow we're going to have a couple of things. So tomorrow on the calendar, anybody that doesn't know about this, like, so in the school community here, you can see this. School community you can learn about in the description. There's a link also in the link tree. We have our call tomorrow, which is going to be our live Zoom call after the stream. So we'll do our stream at 8:30 tomorrow, 8:30 Pacific, and then we'll do our live stream after that. Go over a bunch of stuff, Q&A. We do those every week. They get recorded and put in here for our members. Of course, there's the full course in here. There's a bunch of stuff going on in the community. Down here, I'm going to answer, I'll answer Adam's question after this. This is where you can ask questions. And then, of course, if you want to learn more about this, just check it out. It's only $99 a month and really comprehensive. Goes over everything. And we are making progress on the new NinjaTrader Toolkit that's coming soon. So there you go. Check it all out. Let me see here. So Tomorrow, the stream will probably be a little longer. We'll have a little bit more going on. I think the data releases are tomorrow. This week's been pretty slow, but tomorrow there's a PPI data releases in the morning. And then there's actually a Supreme Court thing tentatively planned right at the open about tariffs. I don't know what that's going to do. It's totally not a normal thing to see. I've never, I don't think I remember ever seeing something like that. And then the day after we have CPI on Thursday, and then Friday there's some economic releases as well. So I'm thinking that we're probably going to have some more movement the rest of the week. And that's probably how it'll be. So I think tomorrow's stream will be a little bit better. Tick profit target. You see this TP at the top? That's what I'm going for. 4 ticks on my scalps right now. It's based on the ATR values. That's my scalp target. Let's see. Yeah, and thanks for letting them know, Project Panic. Thanks for that. All right, so yeah, it looks like we're just gonna we might grind for a little bit here, and that's just more of the same today. So let's see. Yeah, for sure. I don't think there's gonna be a lot happening. It's printing so slow. These bars are taking like what, 3 minutes each? That one wasn't 3 minutes, but that one was closer, 2 minutes or so. Yeah. Yes. Negative risk reward on the scalp, but then I leave a runner. So the runner sometimes makes it not a negative risk reward. It makes it like a really positive one when you get a runner. So it varies. So it's kind of like the risk reward is kind of weird because if you're fully scalping out of your position with no runner, then it's a negative risk reward. But if you get runners, sometimes it changes your math quite a bit. So keep that in mind too. Sometimes you get a big runner. And that can be a pretty good thing. Like, for example, if you took this trade, you would have got a runner, and you could get out like way down here somewhere. And that's a pretty good size move. You know, you get 4 points there easy on the runner. And you would have had opportunities to get out, you know, like as it went sideways here, you could have just got out. All right. I think I'm just going to wrap up the stream here today. I got to take care of some errands today anyway. Got a bunch of stuff I got to run around and do. So I'm going to wrap up here. Tomorrow, I'll be back. Sorry that I was late today. It just had a weird thing. OBS crashed as soon as I was about to start streaming. So then it was like a whole thing. But it should be all good now. And it should be all good tomorrow. I don't know why it did that. But anyway, if anything else comes up, just message me in Discord, and of course after this I'll respond to the comments that are in school and the posts in school, and we'll go from there. But I'll see everybody tomorrow. Appreciate everybody for hopping on today. We'll do a little shorter stream, and then we're gonna have a couple of weird streams this week just because of some scheduling things. Basically, tomorrow will be a longer stream, Thursday will be a shorter stream, and then Friday will be a longer stream. That's the plan. All right, thanks everybody. I'll talk to you soon. Looking forward to seeing everybody in the Zoom call tomorrow too, and going through everything. But take care.